Haikyuu is an anime that I've had pretty much no choice but to watch. I've been seeing people talk about it more and more as each month goes on, which is really weird considering it's a sports anime. It does a lot of things really well, from the characters and writing to the animation, so I wanted to talk about everything that I like about it, which I might as well start off by talking about my favorite part, the hype.
Bitch, I'm the boy. Who the fuck is you, nigga? SOB the gang, y'all ain't fucking with my crew, nigga. Day ones only, I don't really fuck with new niggas. Chopper like a dot, touch one, you'll get blue, nigga, bitch. Stop acting like a white crowd, chop won't stop.
The hype moments of the show are carried by two things. First, the animation. Obviously, it's not a constant Sakuga fest, but I'd say it's one of the best overall looking shows I've seen in a while, and it's consistently good. Whether they're training, in a practice match, in a real match, or just talking, the characters and scenery are always nice on the eyes. But in the matches, especially the ones that have a lot at stake, they ramp that shit up with some amazing Sakuga, which really make the moments hit. And second, the setup or atmosphere. Each match is set up really well by the writing, which I'll get into in a sec, but there's always a lot of build-up and tension in every match for different reasons. And the show does it pretty organically. Tension is important because it's what generates hype. Floyd vs. McGregor wouldn't have gotten nearly as many pay-per-views if it wasn't for the months of build-up beforehand. Just like all these hype moments wouldn't be nearly as hype if it wasn't for the build-up between the characters during the match and before the matches. The build-up before matches is done so well that when a match actually happens, you're like, oh shit, it's actually happening, today's the day. The feeling of growing tension doesn't stop throughout the whole match though, so you stay at the edge of your seat the whole time, which makes those hype moments all the more explosive. So next up, I'm going to talk about how the characters' writing make it so easy to set up these high octane intense matches.
Yeah, these bitches flexin', and I heard these niggas flexin', I keep it whippin', dirty pistol on my dresser, boy I could dress ya, body bag.
One of the biggest appeals to Haikyuu, other than the hype stuff that I mentioned, is getting to watch your characters grow, both in skill and in personality. Skill-wise, you get to see each character practicing things they need to work on to contribute to the team, and later on you actually see them use it to save their team at various different times during matches. It gives the show a natural and realistic sense of progression, especially since it's not just one training montage and whoa, look, you can do this super cool thing perfectly now! It actually takes time and you see all the hardships they go through on their path to learning new skills, and afterward it kind of makes you feel proud of them. And it doesn't just stop when the characters make a breakthrough. Eventually they'll find places where they can build upon their current skills and strategies that they've been using and make it into something bigger. The growth as far as skill never stops. You also get to watch your characters grow as a person. This is mainly seen in Kageyama and Tsukishima. I don't want to go too in depth so I can avoid spoiling you, but both characters start out pretty unlikable. But as time goes on, of course you'll see them think about and make efforts to change the nasty parts about them. It's not just a 180 switch either. Once it happens slowly over time, and since the writers know their characters so well, even after the changes happen to a character, they still feel authentic and like the same character, just not pompous assholes anymore. And they don't just completely change from being dicks to super friendly, happy-go-lucky people, but they change in the way that the team needs them to in order for the team to succeed. You don't only see this from the main cast from Kurosuno, however. Every team they have to play against in tournaments or practice matches also have their own backstory and growth that you get to witness. Some more than others, but for a few teams it gets to the point where you forget who you're cheering for to win. I caught myself feeling bad for some quote-unquote antagonist characters because they share similar hardships and goals to the main cast. Every character, and I mean every character in Haikyuu, feels like a real person. Each person, either from the main cast or from opposing teams, have such colorful personalities, and it makes watching every interaction they have super enjoyable, whether it's the shenanigans that go on the court between the members of Kurosuno, or the relationships that are built between the characters of opposing teams. Like Hinata and Aone, who both have pretty contrasted personalities. Hinata is small and talkative, Aone is a fucking giant and is pretty much a mute, but because of Aone's personality, an unlikely friendship was born out of respect for each other's skills. They're pretty much rivals, but they can recognize the effort and dedication the other person puts in to come out on top, and because of that they became friends. Watching them silently bow to each other at the end of every match never fails to warm my heart. But the main reason why the characters have the motivation to grow and develop as better people and learn new skills is because of the team.
Are you serious? I swear my money is serious. Okay, all my checks I just be clearing it. She said my dick that she get delirious. Okay, jump on the jet so I'm
Not only do you get to watch your characters grow individually in Haikyuu, but for the main cast, you get to watch them grow and get better as a team. Kageyama and Tsukishima's motivations to improve their personality was for the team. Everyone's motivation to improve their individual skills is so they can do more to aid the team. The whole team shares a goal, and even though they're all very different in personality, how they learn things, and what they think is most important to being the best, they all want to be the best, to make it to nationals and to win. And you got to watch it every stop of the way, from the foundation of the characters learning a new skill to where they learn how to incorporate it best into the team's play. You get to witness Kurusuno go from this team with some godlike players and a lot of weaknesses be built back up into a powerhouse school with a very polished playstyle. Of course, it doesn't happen immediately. There was a training arc where everybody was going ham doing individual practices, and when they finally got to put their new skills to use at a training camp during practice matches, they fucking sucked. They were missing passes, spikes, getting into each other's way, and overall they were just really sloppy and unsynchronized. It was kinda hard to watch. But over the course of the training camp, you could see a steady progression as they tightened everything up and synchronized their play with each other. And they came out of the camp a whole new team. And the writing is done in a way to make the team feel like a big family. The characters are always there for each other, making sure their teammates know that they aren't alone. If one player makes a mistake, the whole team is there to encourage them and let them know that it wasn't entirely their fault. With everything that Haikyuu does right, it's not hard to see why people love it so much. There's so many emotional highs and lows in the show, but every second of it is intriguing and enjoyable to watch. If you haven't seen Haikyuu yet, now's your chance to see one of the best shows that anime has to offer. And that's about all I got to say. Thanks so much for the support again. It fills me with joy to see all of you guys liking and commenting on each video. And I wouldn't really be motivated to put as much effort as I do into these videos without it. So thank you, and I'll see you next Friday.